Friends, we are back. Welcome to May's edition of Learning with Luce. And today I'm very, very excited because not only has it been a very busy week that I'll tell you all about in a minute, but I'm joined by a very special guest, a very good friend of mine who I happened to see just yesterday, which is even better. So I am joined by Layla Porter, developer advocate at VMWare Tanzu, but I will let her do her own introduction. Welcome, Layla.
Hi, Luce. Hi, everybody.
How are you today?
I'm good. Tired after the long day yesterday, but it was pretty awesome, wasn't it? To both of us got to speak on Build Live.
Yes, we did. Yeah. So what did you chat about at Build Live? I was sat there watching and taking pictures, but what were you?
I was speaking about women of .NET, path to becoming Microsoft MVP. What else? I can't remember. There was something else in there that we were talking about. Streaming, live coding, doing this type of thing.
Well, who doesn't love that, right?
You were talking about community, I think, weren't you? And I know you were talking about how being open and honest about things like imposter syndrome and just being, your real self. I think that's kind of what I got from your session as well.
Yeah, no, it's good. I enjoyed being at Build. It was great. What was your favorite Build announcement?
So Build's always a tricky one because it's never very specific to developer stuff. But I thought some of the GitHub OpenID Connect stuff could be interesting to play with, and that's being added to Azure AD. So expanding that out, it could give greater control over repositories, maybe. I don't know. So it's worth exploring. And then there was this dev box, which I think is kind of like a dev-ready VM. So that could be worth exploring. So for example, if I'm traveling, maybe I don't need to take such a big laptop. I could take a squiggly little tiny one and boom, I have a full dev box in the cloud.
That would be
What about
cool.
You?
I mean, for me personally, it has to be Maui going into GA. For those who don't know, so Maui is the evolution of Xamarin Forms, and I always joke that in the .NET community, I'm known as the person with a Xamarin shrine on my kitchen wall. It is still there technically, but I need to update it with Maui stickers. But yeah, no, for me, Maui going GA is really exciting because I played with it a little bit, and it makes life so much easier. If you've ever done Xamarin Forms development, you'll know the pain of things like shared images and having to put them in the right place at the right sizes. That's all taken care of in Maui, so that's great. And it also, more importantly, means that Visual Studio for Mac 17.3 preview 1 is out, which means that you actually start to get Maui tooling on the Visual Studio for Mac, which I'm here for because, well, quite frankly, I'm a Mac user, and so having to turn my PC on every time just to use Windows, I'm like, no. There's a really great member of the Xamarin community, Sean Lawrence, known as Bidgington on Twitter. He does a lot with the community toolkit, and really great developer. He's made some great games with Xamarin Forms. And, he was reaching out to me the other day because I'd had some issues trying to run a code sample for something completely different in Maui. And he was like, oh, are you going to build this week? And I'll have a look with you. And I'm like, I am, but I don't have a Windows laptop. That's my big one for me. I'm very excited.
Yay. We've got Alan in the chat. Hi, Alan.
And we've got Glenn as well. Hi, Glenn.
So, yeah. And
look at all these big names coming to hang out with us. I like it.
I'm actually just going to drop a link in the Women of .NET channel just to say that we're live, Luce.
Nice. I did pop a link earlier in upcoming events.
Oh, I'm popping one in general now.
We're upgraded now. So for those of you that don't know, while Layla does that, Women of .NET is a very great initiative that Layla started to encourage all women identifying people to get involved in .NET, whether it's joining the community, being more active, supporting each other. I'm very, well, I say I'm heavily involved. I'm not, but I am involved, and I'm a very proud member of Women of .NET.
I started it last July, and it's really nice to see it growing and having more community members joining it, like yourself, Luce. It's so great to have women from all different walks of life, different women, because we are nice and diverse. So I love that we're a diverse group of women from all over the world as well, which is really good and getting more. So, it's really good. Hello, Fiddle as well. Oh, it's nice. We've got a gang coming to join us.
It's lovely. So I suppose sort of, we are here today to talk Blazor. So are any interesting Blazor announcements at Build? But I must admit, I was so busy planning. So for those that don't know, MongoDB's got a big world conference starting just under 2 weeks in New York, and it's all very exciting. But if you watch, I mean, no one in the UK will because of the time difference. But if you watch the keynote on the first day, on the 7th, you might see a very familiar face. But it's very, very busy. And so I've not really had a chance to catch up with the Build things, which might sound a bit backwards when I was at Build yesterday. But as you can attest to, I was sat there trying to work at the same time yesterday.
You were. Anti-social Luce, tapping away. Yes. Hello, folks. I'm very busy. But of course, that's allowed. I was in meetings all of Tuesday. So I was like, oh God, I didn't see the keynote. And then I went through a review, like a summary blog to try and get some information out. I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And then I was just so busy talking to people yesterday and meeting lots of fellow MVPs. I was like, oh, there's stuff happening, releases. So yeah, I don't know.
Yes, no, I'm with you there. I think it's conference season is starting, isn't it? So that those of us that are involved in any kind of events, there's so much either to organise or prep to do that. Yeah, it just gets a bit difficult sometimes to keep up with everything. But I mean, that's totally in general, I think.
Oh, it's a constant treadmill just to keep up to date and keep absorbing all the new knowledge. And it shouldn't be like that, I don't think. I think there's too much pressure on people to try and learn the newest and greatest. So, we need to normalize that. It's okay not to know every announcement at Build. It's okay. I don't know. I didn't watch it. No. It's all right. Doesn't make me any less of a community member.
No, absolutely not. And I was just thinking then when you were talking about, for me as well, I think it's difficult to keep up. Like you say, it's like a treadmill. And so the way I look at it is, well, in the kind of areas that I'm involved in the community where I'm talking to people and, keeping up with the Twitter in my little sphere, I know what's going on. And so I like to think that there's probably very interesting things coming out of Build that I'd be like, oh, that'd be cool to try that I don't know about yet. So at some point I'll find out. But I think the key things that I need to know about, I probably know. Touch wood.
Where are you?
So it's different. I should still be here.
Oh, you just went quiet. That's all. I was like, wait, what? I was opening up our chat you see on YouTube and I muted YouTube so I didn't hear you twice. And then I was like, but now I don't hear you at all. What have I done?
Oh, so Glenn's saying the combined gRPC REST is nice. And that'd be interesting because I've seen gRPC and I know what REST is, but I've not, seeing it combined. Yeah, that's true. Chat, what are your favourite announcements from Build? Findle saying they want to get their hands on one of those ARM dev kits.
Oh, is that one of those boxes?
Possibly. I don't even know.
I watched Linus Tech Tips today, and they were talking about this new, microcomputer, and it looks a little bit like a Mac Mini, and I think that runs on ARM. Is that what you're talking about, Findle? I didn't know about the combined gRPC REST that Glenn's talking about. Is that see? We'll all learn together. We'll all share knowledge together, and
this is learning with Luce. This isn't about Luce learning. This is about us all learning. This series is monthly, so sometimes people are teaching me things, sometimes I'm teaching other people things, sometimes we're both teaching each other. It's okay. No one ever stops learning.
Sadly.
Yes,
there's not a know-it-all out there. There's a lot of people who think they know it all, but there's not really a know-it-all.
There's a member of the tech community that I'm good friends with, Dr. Dynamite. I don't know if you know him, but he came up with a fun slogan for me the other week, which was always working, but then the word working is scribbled out, and then it just says learning.
Yes.
And that's true. Yes.
It is all the case. Oh, good. Thindle didn't know about the combined gRPC REST. Phew. but Thindle's been poorly, so that Thindle has an excuse.
Yes. Well, feel better soon, Thindle.
Yeah. Hugs your way.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I suppose we ought to think about writing some code, shouldn't we?
Yeah. So Luce, you have been threatening to learn Blazor for quite some time. Have you done any yet?
I have done some, yes. I promised you that if we were going to talk to Blazor together on a stream, that I would know a little bit, and so I know a little bit.
Well, that's all right then. All right. So I have been working on converting just a HTML, CSS, and JavaScript project website, basically, over to I'm going to have a tickly nose, over to Blazor. So what I was thinking is that has hard-coded data at the moment, but maybe we could write some kind of database for the little stuff. Shall I show you what we've got so far?
Yes.
Let me just open the project.
While you load that, I'm just going to answer Thindle. So Thindle was saying their go-to spot was Twitch, but that isn't on the MongoDB channel. Yes. That was the deliberate choice by me because when our lovely social media team advertise any of the streams that we do here at MongoDB, they only ever share YouTube. And so I thought, you know what, if they're only advertising YouTube as a streaming initiative for this year to try and, organically grow, it's probably better to focus on the one channel that we actually advertise. So for now, I'm not going to be broadcasting to Twitch. If people are really missing it on Twitch, then I will. But just from an organic growth perspective, I'm going to do it on YouTube.
Right. So
let's share your screen. There we go.
I've just...
Wonderful. What a pro. Everything is readable. I like it.
Oh, yeah. And now I can't have anything small. So I have a huge monitor and everything is ginormous. So we've been working on bringing this website over. It's not really done yet. It's a work in progress. But you see all of these things to order. So, like all of these. Okay, we could change that. We can have a turtle. There we go. Okay. We can have a turtle. All of these are hard-coded at the moment. Should we have lava?
Oh,
wow. There's no other functionality like adding it to the bag. That's hard-coded at the moment. So what I was thinking is, well, where this data is hard-coded, maybe we can pluck that out. And let me just show you. In here, let me stop it. You can see I've got these 3 methods where if I come down here, let me press F12, and you can see I just hard-coded them in here just to get it going. So I thought, well, maybe that's a good place to start, or we could start from scratch, whatever you like.
No, we can do it from here. This is, I think, I was talking to someone about this yesterday. Around they're actually was to do with the malware community toolkit, but it applies to all sorts of things. Which is that sometimes when you see how-tos and tutorials and sample code, it's always very basic, and sometimes it's better to have a slightly more complex real-world use case. So I think we should convert Waffle Core to be MongoDB as a database, because then you never know, we might convert you as well.
Absolutely. So one of my things is I build a lot of demos. As an advocate, I don't really get to work on released in the wild applications. So to try and keep myself as up to date and in touch with stuff, I always try to make these make-believe websites. And they always revolve around food. So I had a few years Cloud City Cake Company, because who loves an illustration? Me.
Me too. And then, this is what's called learning with Luce.
That's it. Illustration is the best. And so last year I built Tacky Tacos. And now Yes, waffles are my contoso or my tailwinds. So now we're onto Waffle Corp. And so that's what I've been building. I've also been doing some stuff with Signal R for data transmission. So we can definitely get this in there. It's going to be a distributed system. We can start by replacing this, and then we can always extract it out into another service or anything. Oh, hello, Justin. Sorry, I'm doing your job, Luce. I'm saying hello to people as they pop in.
Oh no, it's no one's job. This is I'm just the enabler for your amazingness. So we're here together. It's fine. Like I said yesterday, you're a celebrity. I was there to take pictures as part of the Layla fan club.
Oh my God, no. Although I did get my hair and makeup done.
Me too.
I know. And it was funny. I was like, oh, you're not ready. They were doing a recording, and so they couldn't get me into the green room. And they said, oh, just sit here. And I said, oh, well, I'm just going to go get a coffee and something to drink. And they were like, no, it's fine. We'll get that for you. What can we get you? And I'm like, what? You mean you're going to go outside and get me the coffee? She's like, yeah, it's busy out there. I'll go downstairs and get you a coffee. I was like, are you sure? I'm not used to being waited on by like a minder. I think they just didn't want me to wander off.
Yeah, no. So for those of you that joined slightly late, Layla and I were at Microsoft Build UK Spotlight event yesterday, and both of us had the honour of being interviewed by some exceptional human beings who were hosting for the day. And but part of it was very, because it's a Microsoft event, we were treated extremely well. So when I got there as a speaker, I was escorted from one room to the other, and then, like you say, we had people we had hair and makeup done, and people requesting to fetch us things, and I'm like, all right, I've made it now.
I know. I was like, oh, now I can see why these celebrities start throwing their toys out the pram when their M&Ms aren't the right colours.
Yeah, it's funny because I was talking to Joyce and Haley, who were our makeup and hair people yesterday, and they were saying about how they've worked with some people who are very not quite
horrible,
as laid back.
They told me.
Yes, yeah. So I was trying to be polite, but yes, horrible. Yes, whereas they couldn't believe like how friendly and laid back everyone in tech was. Like we weren't suited and booted. We weren't being rude or demanding. I think most of us were just like, oh my God, we've never had anyone do our hair and makeup before. This is the best thing ever.
I know, so much fun. So this was it was really good fun. Right, Luce, what are we doing? What do I need to do? Where do I need to go?
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do
Mongoify.
So we've got a choice to make, and we kind of have a choice to make. We don't really, and I'll explain why in a minute, but we're going to talk about it anyway. So one of the features that's currently in preview, but will be going GA shortly, and I think it's okay to say that, is Data API, which is our REST endpoint now for access to your databases. So if you don't want to use a driver, or you can't use a driver or SDK or whatever term you want to use, you can just call an endpoint and it will bring your data back.
Cool.
And so that's great. However, we do have a .NET SDK, and for something more involved like your Waffle Core solution here, I think using the .NET SDK is the way to go. So the first thing we're going to do is add a NuGet package.
Alrighty, so let's go.
To answer Andre Jordal's questions, the realm is going to be called Atlas Services now. Watch this space, because I'm not sure what is and isn't changing. Well, I know what isn't and isn't changing. I don't know what I'm allowed to say isn't changing, but not quite. Keep an eye out for MongoDB World and all the announcements, and it will all become clear.
Right. What am I going? What are we doing?
You just want MongoDB driver.core. Oh no, sorry, MongoDB.driver. Sorry, that's the one. Yep.
That one? Okay.
Yep. What's it on now? Oh, it doesn't say on there. Sometimes it's in some places it tells you how many downloads the package has got.
3 million, I saw. Oh, sorry, 86.7 million, 83.8 million. There you go.
Yeah. So I always like to highlight that one, because people so often in the .NET space, people think of SQL as soon as you talk about databases in .NET, and I just like to highlight that we've got 80 million downloads. So quite a few people actually use MongoDB.
Just one or two, Luce, just one or two. I don't actually know the answer to Erlan's question. Is Blazor Hybrid available for VS for Mac? I don't use VS for Mac.
I have preview open right now on my personal Mac. My work Mac. So let me find out. Because I was playing with Blazor earlier.
Let me update this.
Project.
Oh, no. Wait, no. I just saw my huge mistake. I do not want to upgrade to .NET 7. Let's not do that just yet. Let's just do the update.
It does. So in answer to your question, Dan, it doesn't look like it. There's Blazor Server app or Blazor WebAssembly app as an option in new project.
I wonder if you can go and get it via the console. Will it run? Because I have actually, the way I did a Blazor Hybrid was, if you can do Maui, then you can do Blazor Hybrid. So Ed Charbonneau and I taught me how to do it on a stream. And so there's a video of Ed and I doing it. And he adds a Blazor, he has the Blazor app and then adds a Maui project and then pipes the Blazor app through the Maui app.
Oh, that's cool.
So Elan, I will share the link on the Women of .NET Discord with you so you can go check it out. And I've got a repo that has it. I can find that repo now. If you're okay for me to share the link, Luce?
Yeah, of course. This is just a group of friends hanging out, learning from each other. So you share away.
You see. Okay.
Yes, denormalize your brain, Findle. Come to the calm side. We've got cookies.
Let me see. So this is how I did it, Elan, and this is from 4 months ago, so it may have changed. And this should work for you. And if not, we can figure it out together. And I'm happy to. We could do it on a stream together, a Women of .NET stream. So I've just dropped that link. That's my Blazor Hybrid, and you can see if I bring it up here that it has a Blazor app and the Maui app, and basically that should be working. Were lining. I don't know what were lining means. Does anyone know what were lining means? Because I don't, and I wrote it. So this one, I don't know if this is server or WASM. It's all three. So it definitely will do what you want. So we can do that together. Maybe on a stream in a few weeks, Alan, or maybe next week. Who knows? We'll talk. You and I. We'll talk.
Yeah, just look dead down the camera. We'll talk.
We'll talk, lady. We'll talk. So there we go. Alrighty. I have added that package. Do we need any more, Luce?
Nope, that's it. One simple package.
Okay. So if we're going to use this SDK, so when I've done stuff with sort of, am I allowed to say talk about other sort of NoSQL databases I've used?
Of course.
Is that allowed?
I write articles of work that compares us to them. So.
Well, that's fine. And so I have done used Azure Table Storage, which uses the Cosmos DB NuGet package. And what I did was make a DB context for it. So is that the kind of thing that you want us to do? Is that going to work for you if we had a DB context as a wrapper for it?
I don't know if we need it. So the way traditionally we do it is that the SDK can map a basic C# class file object to it will just take care of turning it into a document in your database for you. So if you've already got the models, we pretty much already got what we need.
Not have I? I do. I have some muffles. That's model waffles. Waffle muffles. Muffles, folks. I have those here. Yeah, so I do, but I don't. I have some. They're sort of not the cleanest of models. They're not really entity models. They have things like this in it.
I do that.
It's okay.
I've been writing a sample app that does well, I say it's sample. I'm writing an app that uses Xamarin Forms. I've also got a Maui version, but Xamarin Forms and Realm, which is MongoDB's mobile database, essentially.
Right.
And that I've got things like it's doing blood pressure tracking, and so obviously when you take your blood pressure, you've got the top over the bottom. But when you enter it, you enter the numbers separately. But when you then bring them together, they don't mean anything separately. So I've got things like you've got there with the total that just takes values and outputs into something else. So this is fine.
Cool. Alrighty.
For this.
Awesome. So I've got the models then.
Cool. So all we need to do is, I don't even know if we need an ID. Let me just get some code up. So where's my? Rather than trying to remember all this when we're tired, I'm just going, do you know what? Let's just do this from code that I already know. There you go.
Are you sharing a link, Luce?
I can share a link, yes.
Or are you sharing your screen?
Neither. I'm about to share a link. There you go.
Okay.
So this is so I wrote a tutorial, but I couldn't find the tutorial fast enough, so I just quickly linked it. I was just going to look, but we can look at it together. But yeah, essentially, you don't even need to do an awful lot. There's bits in like my game model that use like attributes or decorators, whatever you call them, from the library, but I don't even know if we actually need it. Oh, of course I don't need to find the link. It's in the repo because it's me and I wrote a decent README. I even made an architecture diagram and everything. You can tell this is the first tutorial I ever wrote for work because I was determined to start on a good foundation.
Alrighty, so are we going to look at this game controller then?
We can. So just you can look at the controller if you like. Yeah, it's very straightforward. All you need to do is I made a service class to handle this in this repo, but it's just you just set up a client. Obviously, at some point, we'll have to create a database in Atlas that we can access, but that's easy enough to do.
Yeah, this is kind of what I meant by like a wrapper, which is a DB context type thing.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I know a little bit of web development, but I'm not much of a web developer. So yeah, sometimes we'll have some moments where it's like, oh, okay, I knew what you meant. I just didn't know what you meant.
Yeah. No. And we can have a look at this games database settings, so we can have a look and we can I'm going to pop this off my screen and let's start by adding a new folder called data. Alrighty, so do you want me just to sort of start working with this type stuff?
Yeah, if that, yeah, like there's these we can. It's one of those we can get it working, and then we can always improve on it if you have any suggestions.
So let's just call it the waffle order DB context. Dun, dun, dun. What an awesome name. And I can see from yours that you have this. I'm going to just update it. So oh, good. It did that automatically for me. There we go.
Beautiful, isn't it? I love these top-level namespaces, whatever the
yeah, but Visual Studio took away the extra braces for me, which it wasn't doing a few weeks ago, so that's cool. And
no, I was going to say I don't remember doing it. I was writing code the weekend because I wrote a. You'll love this. So you know how I have ADHD, and so sometimes I just have to do random things to help myself.
Yeah.
I went swimming and swam a kilometre on Saturday, but while I do what I call productive meditation, so I go for a swim, but while I'm doing it, I try and focus on something specific to solve a problem. And in this case, it was I wrote in my head a fake data generator console app in my head that I then wrote when I got home.
That's very cool.
But it reminded me of it because I was doing the top level namespaces, and so it didn't remove the curly braces for me on Saturday.
Well, what I'm going to do, Luce, is I'm going to take this out here. Okay.
Yep.
And we're going to do this in the program. All right. And so in here, we can add services and things.
We can.
And then what will help with this is it will be managed then, okay? Because newing it up in here, which is great for what you've done because you don't have to explain it. But as we can explain it verbally now, if I do this, it's not going to be managed so well. We're creating this connection to Mongo, and we're newing it up here. We can't test it. It's coupling it. If we wanted to change the SDK and things like that, it's going to be harder. So let's come in here and we are going to add it to our services container. So this might take a few moments while we figure it out. So what I'm going to do is just drop that there.
Yep.
And we'll bring in the client. And so what we want to do is get our settings. So we're going to add our settings and get those from user secrets. Oh, we can't, this is a web client, so we won't have user secrets. So I don't know where we're going to get this settings from.
So when I did it, you don't have app settings in here, do you?
No, because it's WASM. So nothing's safe, nothing's a secret. So this is why, we probably don't want to do this, set up a connection in here because we can't have secrets. So ways that we could do this is have this call a separate client, which is probably going to be the best way because we don't really want to be setting up connections within the WASM project. We can for our demo purpose, but if you want, we can just add a new API site, and we can probably do this with minimal APIs if you want to have a look at that as well.
I don't mind. This is your demo project, so it's entirely up to you.
Have you done anything with minimal APIs?
I have. Not a lot, but I've made a few new projects recently that out of the box use minimal APIs. And when I was at NDC London, I watched a talk on minimal APIs.
Awesome. So what about if chat wants to do it? Does anyone want to have a go? We could do an Azure function. We could. But what does everyone go on? Tell us. Do you want an Azure function, folks? Do you want me to do minimal APIs? How would you like us to serve the data to this site?
You don't need to host it on Azure Static Apps, Dindle. We have hosting on Atlas. You can host a website on Atlas for free.
Can we stick an Azure function in it?
We have functions, so probably not.
Okay. See ClipTalk. Yep. Actually, speaking of doing something completely in static sites, that's the Azure Static website. Learn thing has Azure functions as well. I know functions, Luce. Let's.
Yeah. This is your demo, so unless anyone's saying chat's got strong feelings either way, I'm happy to go with whatever's going to make the most sense as a good demo example.
Either is fine. So I have lots of demos, so I'm really happy with seeing what chat wants to do. Let's see. All right, I'm going to give it another few moments for chat to decide minimal APIs or Azure functions. All right, I'm going to all vote now. Vote. Luce, what's your vote? You have to cast a vote. You can't just say whatever I like.
Minimal APIs, just because that's what you talked about and it's fun.
All right. And Thindle's like, go serverless, though, if you can. No, we're going with minimal APIs now.
Well, we can do functions. I don't mind.
We'll never make a decision. Who else have we got in the chat? Maybe Justin or Alan can cast a deciding vote. Otherwise, I'm going to do a coin flip.
They don't have coins these days.
Oh, well, I'll see. Let me see if I can get. I'm sure Google can give me a random number between 0 and 10. And then we'll say odd numbers for serverless and even numbers for minimal APIs. Okay, give me a random number between 1 and 10. Are you gonna just give me one? Just give me one. 7. So that was Azure Functions. Done. Decided.
Azure Function it is then. Thanks, Google.
Minimal Azure Function. Okay.
I like it.
All right, let's go and add a new Azure function. So you're going to add a new project and then Azure Functions here. Let's go. And we'll call this Mongo Data Server. Oh, no, not on the desktop. No, we want it in this project, which is on the desktop, but here we go. Oh, I need to go up and create. Wait. I've got. Stop it. Stop beeping at me. Save. I'm going to just come here and, because I dropped it on the desktop.
Yes. Just seeing it open there in Windows Explorer, seeing the bin and knobs reminds me of. I felt like a real pro at the weekend because when I wrote this fake data generator, I actually learned how to find out, use the correct code to find out the path for where the application is running. And so I could output files. So for every random plant I generated, it stuck it in a CSV file in a bin and an output folder I made. I was like, I feel like a real pro now.
I like doing that. Oh, it's not going to let me do this.
I'm like you. I don't write code as my day job anymore, not beyond demo samples, which is really invaluable because lots of people need demos. But sometimes you just never end up in a situation where you're working on anything that maybe requires some of these more niche use cases. So it's always fun to be like, oh, I can do that now.
Yeah, I'm going to see, can I find that? I need this to stop. We're looking for dev-env, folks. This is in alphabetical order, so I'm a little bit confused why. I need to force Visual Studio to release. And it's not. It's like, no. All right, let's try again. Yay! Okay, it finally did it.
Yeah, I think it takes a while. Yeah,
it does. So let's move that up into there, and then I'll need to rejig that. Oh no, it's opened it in the wrong version. Oh, it's all going to pot these. All right, first thing we need to do is.
It's okay. We've worked hard this week. We've not had people offering to bring us coffee today, so we're just feeling a bit out of sorts.
I know. So we're going to say that is that. There we go. So our solution is right now. And let me open with Visual Studio.
There you go. No, but being involved in those kind of events gets kind of addictive, though.
Yes, it was definitely fun.
Yeah, I was talking to Adam, so I'll use his full name, otherwise you'll know who I mean, but no one else will. I was talking to Adam Jackson yesterday, who was involved in a lot of the organising for the event, and he was saying that they had Chris and April doing the hosting, just because, time-wise and coming back in person for the first time and stuff, they just didn't want to make it too complicated. So, they had 2 incredible hosts. But, obviously it was quite full on for them. And so next year there might be breaks, they'll be able to take breaks and have other hosts and a mixture of, also MVPs. And I was like, I so want to host a bit of build next year. Come on.
That would be very cool.
It would. I'd have so much fun.
So word of warning, I keep having my Visual Studio crash on me. So once it's stable, but it's been a little bit finicky with me.
It's okay.
So right. Okay, now we're here. I'm going to add, let's go and add that project, which is the Azure Functions. Next, we're going to call this Mongo Functions. Next, it's going to be .NET 6. We're going to have, I am guessing, an HTTP trigger. We'll do that. I'm just going to set this anonymous for locally, just for ease.
Yeah, why
it doesn't matter when you're running locally. And alrighty, so now we've got that. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to edit the project file. See, it's Thindle's extension there, working as usual. Always very good. I'm going to take.
I didn't know Thindle wrote an extension. That's cool.
Oh yes. Right, I'm going to come in here, and it hides all of your any JSON. So you see here now, I can either just display the comments or I can display the components. So it stops you doxing yourself, which is pretty awesome.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Everyone needs that. Good job, Thindle.
Okay, so for some reason, I don't seem to have the MongoDB thing, but let's just go and add it now again. All right, so we're going for this driver. We're going to install that. I accept your terms and conditions. Okay, it's in.
You signed up now. You must use Atlas forever.
That's it. I'm still not seeing it. Oh, there it is. There, it's added. I can see it now. We're safe.
Beautiful.
And then I created this data folder, which I'm now going to move up here. I'm going to move up here. Thank you. And let's go in here. And this one is now going to be Mongo Functions. And perfect. Super duper. All right. So now we've got that. I can delete it from here. And I think we're ready to go. So let's have a look at where your code sample is. So we were going to have a look at this client here first. So we're going to go program. It looks very similar to that because it is that. We are, oh God, no, with the functions. I'm now going to have to add a startup and do that. Why did we do a coin flip? I should have just done minimal APIs.
Because I don't know enough about this stuff to go, Layla, this is a bad idea. You should do X for this reason.
Okay, so we are going to add a new Thindle. Make sure I've got YouTube up. Thindle.
No, we're not going to be blaming our friends in chat just yet.
Oh, we so.
I forgot to share it until now, but there you go. I made a little banner so that people can follow you on Twitter that will appear on screen.
Oh, thank you. But I'm still going to blame Thindle. Okay, so we are going to just go and cut some code from my repositories. I have to find. So what we need to get a Azure function to use dependency injection and stuff is to tell it to use a startup file, and that will allow us to do all of the dependency injection and all of that. But we have to kind of hook into the web jobs library. Okay. So this is going to look a little bit different. The first key thing that we need is to get rid of all this extra rubbish, and we need this. And this is going to let us so yes, add that please.
I love this function. I remember a few years ago they didn't have that, did they, in Visual Studio, where it would go, oh hey, you're missing this package, this is what new package you need to install. And
because Rider had it, I think they had to go and get it. Yes. So now I'm going to just copy all of this file from where it was. So we need to just bring in another using. We need this one, which we've got. I'm just grabbing some libraries from something else I've got here. So that one. And doesn't know what that is. Or is it upside because it's not input?
It's not. Should it be on the class at the namespace?
Yes, thank you. Silly me.
I contributed.
Whoop, whoop. So I'm going to get rid of
I am a developer.
Of course you are.
Oh no, I'm only joking. I know I'm a developer. I planned an app while swimming on Saturday. I mean that.
Exactly. So we're going to implement this class, and now we're ready to go. So we've got this builder coming in, which now we can use builder stuff.
Nice, and builder's great. And one of the great things about Maui is that because it's using a lot of the same engine under the hood now with .NET, is that it brings in things like builder.
Right, so there we go. I've got some add options. We're going to use this through, and what we're going to do is just create a model based on the settings that you had. So we're going to have MongoDB settings, and we're going to have a nice class that maps, and we're going to have that, and we're going to bind.
Nice seeing C# code. I know. I know. I wrote some on the weekend to generate some fake data, but it was a very quick, thrown together application, and this is very different kind of code. And it's not me having to write it; I just get to watch it unfold.
You get to watch
that's a beauty in itself.
Alrighty. So, what is in our MongoDB settings, Luce?
It is just the name of the database and the name of the collection.
All right. So let's go. Prop string database name.
It might be. Oh, there might be connection string as well. Actually, ignore me. But yeah, that's so we can do third prop, but we can
string collection name. That was totally spelled wrong.
Yeah. So just to give you and other people an overview that might not know. So with MongoDB, like the terminology is slightly different to things like relational databases. Obviously, it isn't a relational database at all. It's a document database, but essentially, you have a database which contains collections, and then inside the collections, you've got documents. So a document's a bit like a row in a table. A collection is like a table, and then a database is a database. So in our collection name, it's basically the equivalent of a table name. But because we don't need to have all the overhead and complexity of multiple tables, it's just one collection of documents.
I wanted to do a special paste, but I can't see it. So what I'm going to do is this, and we are going to have this is how I hack code. I don't hack code like this often in the public eye, Luce. So folks who normally watch me probably like, I'm probably like, oh, Layla's a bit quicker than she normally is. Yeah, because I'm not doing all the chatting and the monitoring, because I've got Luce here being awesome and doing that.
Findus just asked, does MongoDB do any kind of sharding where we need to keep track of our own indexing keys? Yes, so we have a sharding. You don't know if you have to keep track of your index keys. So sharding is basically if you've got a really large data set, you might want to break it down into smaller chunks so that when you want to go and find something in your data, you don't have to search through all documents in your collection. You just go, oh, hey, well, it falls under this little section. We'll go there. So it's a bit like in a library, you've got shelves and you're like, oh, you know that you want to find a book by, I don't know, Tolkien. You'd go to the section that includes T because it's sorted by author surname. And so your indexing or sharding key would be the author surname in that situation. So sharding is just a way to break it down so that you don't have to look through all the documents. You just have to look at one little section.
That's
and
cool.
So, yes, we have sharding.
That's a really good description, that. Thank you, Luce.
It's my job to explain things to people in a way that makes sense, so I try.
All right. So we have database name, waffle order. What's the collection name?
Whatever you want it to be.
So what is the collection?
I guess it would be. Do you want to store waffles as one set of documents and orders as another, so that you can do like, oh, I've got, I don't know, say, like you associate orders with waffles, or do you want orders that are associated with waffles? Do you want them separate and then you can just reference them?
So what we have is like a static menu. We have a whole load of options, and then we have orders. So those are the two. That's how I see the collections could be. We've got something that's like just fixed content. It's a menu item. So that's like the shape of the waffles, the toppings we offer. And then we have orders, which is, I'm going to change the database name to Waffle Corp. And that's going to be, where we're going to save our orders. So there's two sort of things which might fit into that question. So can we have two collections?
Yeah, have as many collections as you like.
All right. So how do we do that?
The reason I asked is because we've got you've got the data modeling choices. So it's just about, you don't need relationships really in MongoDB. You can have embedded documents. So because all MongoDB really is, it's JSON, but it's actually binary JSON, so it supports more data types. So one of the things you can have is one of your data types can be objects. So you can embed documents in documents. So I was just establishing whether they needed to be stored together, because we always say data that's accessed together should be stored together, but it doesn't sound like they will be accessed together. They're two separate entities, so they're just two separate collections. So I'd actually have extra properties where you've got like the waffle or the, say, menu collection, because you might want to start selling more than just waffles.
So if we had menu collection, and then what we have order collection.
Yeah. Because what's cool about MongoDB is that at some point, of course, we'll have to set up our Atlas database or cluster. Sorry. So a cluster is a collection of databases essentially. So we can set up the cluster so we've got something in Atlas to refer to, but we don't even need to set up the databases and collections. The first time you go to add data, it'll go, oh, these don't exist yet. Okay, I'll make them for you, no problem.
Cool. So let me go here. We're going to have... All right, so now that should bind for us. We just need a connection string. Where am I going for a connection string?
So if you go to cloud.mongodb.com, please. And then you can sign in the top right, or try for free. We don't have to spend any money to do any of this. It's cost of living crisis, Thindle. Things just inflate.
Right. I was looking for my thing to, just change here. Let me, can you hide my screen, please, Luce?
I can. There we go.
Oh, my face is really big now. Hello. Eyeball.
It'll be worth it though, Thindle, because once we get the database set up, this is literally pretty much the only effort we have to do. The rest is nice and easy.
All right, so we can come back on, Luce.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, build a new application.
Yeah, why not? I think this is just data collection. I don't even think it matters. I guess it'd be a web application, wouldn't it? But yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. C# always. Ignore that. Just click the finish. Whatever. It's only getting to know you. Okay, so we're going to do free shared, because you don't have to spend any money to play with this. We're going to, as much as we're MVPs, we're going to stick with AWS, because AWS has the most feature support at the moment, because they're our biggest partner. And you can pretty much leave the rest as default if you want.
Alrighty, so create cluster.
You can always change it from cluster 0 if you like. Just call it Waffle Core Cluster or something. But it doesn't matter. Yeah.
And what about any
custom,
of these?
that's it.
Okay. Yeah.
No,
all right,
can leave them. Yeah. Yep.
Let's
This
go.
will take a few minutes to spin up. So while this is spinning, we can set up. Hang on, I'll just be on the safe side. I'll hide the two of us. There you go. You can set because we get security out of the box with MongoDB, so you have to set up a way to access it, and later on we'll set up that you can access it from just your IP or any IP. But we're very security conscious, and we have field level encryption now, so all the data that's being broadcast is all secure. You look confused. You okay?
Oh, yeah, it's fine. I just I created it and then I didn't save my password. It's okay. It's okay.
I do that all the time. I've got databases. I've got multiple database users just because I forget my password.
I think I'm almost ready.
Okay, I'll bring you back as soon as you tell me.
So I've done it. Yeah, we're good.
Oh no, that one. There we go.
Hello.
Cool.
All right, so that's done.
Okay, so it's provisioning it now. So what you can do is...
can we get my connection string? Or do we have to wait till it's provisioned?
We might need to wait till it's provisioned, so it'll take a few minutes, but... so, I mean, I'm going to take the bait, Findle. Latency with MongoDB Atlas is not a problem. That's all I'm going to say on the matter.
So what I'm going to do is copy these over. We'll get these models into our little function so we can get going with other stuff whilst we wait. And this is going to be Mongo functions. Better. Okay. Let me just copy this and pop it on that other one.
So it's a genuine question. Okay, so with the latency, obviously, there'll always be ever so slight latency if you pick you only deploy to a region really far away. But one of the great things is that we support deployments not just multi-cloud platform, but multi-region. So you can pick whichever regions work for where your users are. But latency is still pretty low. I mean, a very big, massive multiplayer online first-person shooter game uses us under the hood. And so if that can handle it, I think we're all right.
Alrighty.
Just put my company hat on and big us up because I think we're great.
Okay, so I'm just starting to set up our Azure function. So what I've done is this one's going to be a get. It's going to get our menu items. And then over here, you see we've got this HTTP request. We can actually get this a custom model.
Okay.
So if we go and we're going to get menu items. So that's going to be toppings and it's going to be
shape.
Oh, no, this one's not going to have a request item. That's fine because that would be on the other side. So at the moment, yeah, this is going to this is just going to return anything. So we'll see the request, but we're not going to have anything.
Okay.
So because we'll be doing a get, we don't need to worry about getting anything from the request body. So I'm just going to get rid of that.
I love deleting code.
Oh, I'm very good at deleting code. And then what we'll do here is we'll create a constructor. And we're going to have that. Nope, there we go. I've already done that. So we're going to have get menu items. And we can get rid of the static and the static. So now we've got a constructor. And if we go back to this DB context here, I saw that someone suggested calling it a repository. We can do that as well, but yeah, it's going to be a waffle corp. In fact, I'm going to rename it. And waffle corp, rename. So we've got that. And now, I know we haven't got any code in here, but let's go and add it to the startup. We can go and say we've got that function settings. We're going to bind it to that section. So that should all be there. This is an options. So this will be an options pattern. And what we're going to do is create a singleton of waffle corp DB. So we can have builder.settings, and we're gonna please
add a singleton.
Services dot add singleton, and this one.
See, I know about this now. Thanks to Maui bringing in Builder and using it a little bit more, I actually understand it better.
Cool. So this is adding it to our IOC and version of control container, which is our built-in dependency injection. Now, what you had on your code as well, if we go over to it, we had this newing up of the DB client here. And if we DB that, if we new that up, it's not managed. So what we want to do is create a MongoDB client and add that.
Okay.
We're going to go builder dot services dot add, and we'll add this as a singleton as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, logically. No, I was about to say, yeah, we add singleton. I didn't want to backseat, but it's just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
And that, yes, we want a singleton because we only need one of the clients. We don't need multiple of them yet.
No, and this is going to be a Mongo client. And then what we're going to do is come and have this in here. And then we get rid of that. And we just need to bring that in. And if I new line that. So what this is doing, we obviously need a semicolon on the end. By newing it up in here, it's going to be available and in the IOC, and because we're doing it as an expression, the IOC container is going to know how to dispose of this and when. And that is thank you very much to my friend Steve Collins. Steve talks code. Now we need to get the connections out of here. And so that another way that we can do this, we've bound it this way, but this is an option. So we need to get it from the options pattern. And I actually I'm going to have to grab a bit of code from Steve that he shared with me on how to get the options pattern out of here. So this is cool. We're going to use some of the stuff he shared.
Steve knows lots of useful things.
He's very good with this. And let me see. Okay.
We're very lucky. I think our community is full of some very intelligent and clever people that teach us lots of useful things on a regular basis.
Yes. So I'm going to just new line this so we can see it. And I'm going to go get rid of that. And again, we're going to the SP. We need the options pattern. And then from the options pattern, we want to get, so you see we're going add options. So we're adding it as an options. And then we want to get the value dot, you can see it's already got IntelliSense, and we want the connection string, I think, wasn't it? That's what it was asking.
I love a bit of inline code creation.
Dun, dun, dun. Let me unpin this so you can see it in all its glory. There you go.
That is beautiful. Yeah, as Thindle said, you're using IOC to configure the IOC.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant stuff.
It's about the only bit of recursion I understand.
So there we go. We've got that in. And then now we've created our client here. So when we come to our DB client, where you are passing in settings and newing it up, I can just go, I'd really like Mongo client, please. And I'm going to call that client. I'm going to pass that in, and I'm going to have a private read only. And no, that's not what it's going to be. Good try though, Visual Studio. Mongo client. There, that's better.
I love IntelliCode. Once it starts to understand a bit better, it's great.
And then we're going to go equals client, and let's be good. We'll throw new argument null, please. Exception. Why am I not getting that? Have I not got the right using?
It might be missing system or something. Yeah.
All right. So
that was a good guess.
Cool. All right. So we've got it now, and let's go back and have a look at your code. All right. So now you want to do a database. So we are going to. We're also going to need this up somewhere. We can do that. Let's grab that line. And
yeah, because what these two lines are doing essentially is it's saying you create the new client and then you create a hook into the database and collection you care about, just because it's easier.
So what we could do is write an extension that handles that for us, and it all gets passed over to the IOC, and then we can do it there. So what we can now do is write something very similar to this, and it will all be managed for us. So we want to have that. And if we go, what is this database? Is it a Mongo database?
Yes, I believe so. That's a good question.
Okay. So we're going
I'll open this repo locally on my computer so I can at least look at Visual Studio at the data types.
All right, so this one's going to get more complicated. So we'll see how we go. So what we're going to do is go and get this. We're going to use the service provider again and get what we need from it. So if we know what this is.
A database is oh, that's helpful. Get database. It is a iMongo database.
So when IntelliSense was offering that up earlier, it was all right. So we're going to have.
Oh yeah, it was actually onto something. Good on IntelliSense.
Services. Dot add a singleton. So this is going to take me a little bit to figure out to do it, folks. So you have to bear with me. So we'll have that.
Findle's like way ahead of us, but a little bit behind us. Like I think their stream is a little bit behind, but they're making accurate suggestions again.
So if we're going to get a database right away from the client, couldn't we have kept the iMongo database private variable if wants to help out with before? I don't quite follow the help out before.
Because it was trying to give it as the IntelliCode.
I see. Yes, it was. Right, okay, I'm following again. So we want to add an iMongo database. And to do that, we need to do this bit. So this is going to be long-winded. We're going to have SP service provider, and then we're going to have sp.getService, get required service, and this one is going to be of type Mongo client. Let's go new line. And then, so we go and get the client. Let's actually make this a little bit easier. And come down here and create it like so. All right, so what do we want? So we're going to say that this is the client is equal to that. So this is going to be our MongoDB client. And then let me bring this line down.
Does that need a semicolon?
Yeah. I'm going to get rid of that now. And then again, we want to use something like this all the way down to there. And there we go.
Magic.
So there we go. And now we've got that bit was the database, and we can just go return that. And now that's it, done. And now it says it doesn't need that because it can already infer it. So, but I'll leave it there because I think it's better to just be more explicit about what we're returning.
Yep.
So now if we go back over to our DB context, because I think in your code you just use those to get what you required. So
yeah, and then that games is just a list iMongo collection, but I guess that wouldn't necessarily be in the services, would it? Because you might want to be more flexible about what the type is.
No, we're not going to put that in the services. So you're completely right. Yeah.
Well, this is a fun day. I keep being right. This is unusual. Do you want to come be a guest every month?
Andy, so this is going to be
we can make this into a whole series working on this project. It could be great.
MongoDB, and then I'm going to get rid of this. So we are getting this MongoDB injected. So if I come back over to your code, Luce, we need this line. And you are going to get settings, but we can get that as well. That's not a problem. We can get that.
We can just inject that into the constructor, right?
So let's just call this, this is going to be...
this is the menu, isn't it?
Menu. Oh, sorry. This is going to be... we need to create a thing for this, which we'll just call this menu items. We'll sort it in a moment. And let's just call this menu items. And we'll add that down here. And we're just going to set that equal to here. So this is very happy path at the moment because we haven't got any error handling on that, but that's okay. We do need to get the games collection name. So what we can do is go options and let's go settings. And we had, let me get the name of it. Ask any questions you need to, Luce.
Yeah, no, we're okay so far.
All right, so I'm going to get using the options pattern, we're going to get our settings out. And then down here, we are going to go settings.value.menu collection name. Okay.
This is shiny.
So we're going to go over to our data and we're going to make a menu item. So we're going to add a new item and we're going to call that menu items. And let's go here. I just wish it would default. I have to go and update that. I don't want it in internal. I don't know. I know internal's probably right, but it just irritates me. So
yeah, me.
So in our menu items table collection, can I go and get all of the food items? So yes. If I was thinking about this, can I have them separated by type? So if I have, let me go and show you what we have. We have toppings and we have bases and we have sources. I guess it could all just be toppings. And the waffle shape could be another data set. So can we, if I wanted to say in my menu items, I've got a list of topping, and I go toppings, and then I have a list of bases. That's waffle base, and we call that bases. Can we do that?
Yeah. So the thing with the great thing is that not only does the SDK support link and stuff like that, so we can literally populate these quite easily because MongoDB's documents are a flexible schema. Like they can just adapt to suit you. So this shouldn't be a problem. I might be proved wrong, but we'll find out.
Oh, let's see. I'm going to just go and quickly make a source. So I'm just going to copy that, make that. This is going to be a two clickety click click click. Right, let me copy you. You can come down here. You are going to be a source. And there we go, have a selection item.
Chat's voting that we should make a series out of this.
I see, okay. Oh, we don't have this selection item through. We don't need that because that's very specific to the front end.
Okay.
So I'm just going to delete that constructor. Okay. Is everyone in chat? I know I'm going quite quick, chat. Is everyone following? Let me know if not. So now we've got our 3 different data sets that I'd like. So what's next?
Okay, so what we can do is let's have a look at the model. So yeah, I don't even think we need to do an awful lot with the actual models themselves now. We can just start actually using it. So we've got our client created, we've got our database, and we've got the collection that we want to use. Now we can start actually fetching the information if we want to.
All right, let me just put this. We're going to need our WaffleDB context in here, ready to use. So that was the last bit that we had. So let me come here. I can see we've got Fuel Enable here now. And that's going to be context.
Who knows? I just chose YouTube because our amazing social media team can only advertise one platform at a time, and it tends to be YouTube. And so from a company streaming perspective, it just made sense to stick to one platform rather than try and stream to 2 platforms when only one makes it into social media announcements. So I thought, let's do it. But yeah, welcome in. The gang is gathering indeed.
All right, so we just need to get the connection string. So I'm guessing that's going to be in the app now, is it, Luce? Ready?
Yep.
All right, let's see. So I know we're going to have to hide my screen in a moment. So where do we, is that database access?
You don't need to hide your screen at all. If you
go
to
okay, I can just copy
in the top left.
Yeah.
No, well, maybe. It depends if you know what your password is, but I don't know if it shows up in this screen because of security first.
Okay. So
if
one?
Go to database, you'll see that you've got your waffle core. If you click the connect button next to the waffle core cluster, it will then just click allow access from anywhere, probably. Oh, you can do that if you want. I didn't know if you wanted to broadcast your IP address to everyone, but sure.
Well, it's done now. Whoops. I didn't know.
That's right. Changes.
Flashed it up. I don't have a fixed IP, so it's fine.
Okay, now click choose a connection method. Okay, so there's different ways you connect your application. We want connect your application in the middle. So Shell is our CLI tool. Then at the bottom of that list, there was Compass, which is our GUI tool. And if you, in that driver box, if you change it from node.js to C#, it will actually give you the exact connection string that you need.
Hurrah.
It's alphabetical, so it'll be further up. There you go. And then, yeah, it's be 2.13 or later because we're using the latest. And that will be, so you can see that it won't have your password, username and password. So that's where you'll have to hide your screen and pop them in.
Alrighty. So let me hide my screen. Oh, stupid ginormous Layla coming at you. So I can't stop like at the ginormous Layla looking at you all. And
right. The question is, so I've got a very important meeting in 40 minutes to do a run through with the other people in the keynote demo with me. So the question is, will we get this live within 40 minutes, or are we going to be doing a follow-up stream soon where we
I think we'll probably end up doing a follow-up, let's
hey, chat wanted a series, so we can do all sorts of things with this, and we can start embedding, we can have a bit of fun with it. We can also do things like you can embed charts really easily. So we can go into charts, which is a Atlas product, and you can point it at your menu items or your order information. You can start to graph interesting things like your most popular items and just embed them in your page.
Cool. Right, I'm done. We can flip back.
Oh, no, wrong size.
Not
there we go.
That ginormous, says the
Your intelligence levels are, but you're not on the screen.
Well, NoDocs will fix everything. If I go to my user secrets, it'll be fine because NoDocs is awesome. I don't know, Martin, if that's done, but I've stuck it in now. It's fine. It's fine. I've stuck it in. All right, so we can go and write our DB context, I guess. So let's go here. I've got that. That will create it. And let's go back and look at your code, Luce.
Yep. So it's nice. So basically, you can start populating things like the menu items. So we've got the collection. I mean, I guess you want to save stuff to it first, but because at the moment it won't have anything.
No. Okay. So we will need to seed that in somehow. Can we do that?
Yeah, you can do it from the browser if you like.
Well, no, we could do it from here. That's okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I suppose at some point you're going to want the ability to add new items, menu items if you want to.
All right. So, all right. So what am I doing? Okay.
So
the create.
You can see that we literally just call insert one with the item that we want. So we can do. You don't even have to return the game if you don't want to, or return the menu item. I just do that because you might want to go, oh hey, this is the menu item you got back. Here's say the object ID, which is the basically the primary key that MongoDB auto generates for every document.
Okay. In fact, I'm not going to have that all. Everyone's like, what is she on about? So we are going to have, this is my seed. All right. So this is going to kick off so I'm going to have my var menu item. So that's going to be a list of menu items. Is that what we called it? Is that really? Yes, it is. Really, Layla? It's fine. No, that's fine. It's okay. No, it's going to
later. Minimum viable product.
Menu items. Actually, it's a whole load of lists. So it's just going to be a menu items, not even a list. It's fine. Luce, maybe this is wrong. Okay. Because I want to be able to go and get just my toppings or just my sources. How am I going to do that?
So each menu item, we could have a embedded document. So every menu item will have a toppings object, which is essentially a list. Let me try and write it in chat so that in a way that will make sense. It'll be
or should we have had so what I would have done, I would have a table of of sources and a table of, if it was SQL, I would have a table of sources, a table of
and see, this is where we don't need that anymore, because the toppings and sources and bases is all part of having it's all part of a menu item. And so what you can do is think of it as the document would be a menu item, and then you'd have that's a good point.
You see, I think the menu item is wrong. I think that's wrong. I think we should delete that. What we need to get from the database is a list. We need to get 3 different collections. We need to get so that's the collection, which is going to be you see, this is what confused me. We're going to get a collection of menu items.
Yeah, so
and that's going to have 3 different things.
Yeah, so I'm trying to map it in my head. So as I was saying before, like it's this idea that data that's accessed together should be stored together. So a lot of the time you care, you know, if you've got a menu item and you're taking an order for that menu item, you care about the base, the topping and the source. Like each order will have one of each item. So it should really, okay.
That's not how it's going to work. So this is this is the menu. So when I go and look at a menu, there's like 20 toppings and there's 5 bases and 4 sources. So this is just like, go and fetch me all the toppings, all the sources and all the bases.
Which we can still do because
I can
because we can having them embedded isn't a problem because we have this idea called project. So you literally say these are the only bits from the document that I care about getting back right now. So you could just say, go and get me all of the toppings field and it will return only those. So that's not a problem.
It. I'm fixing it.
Okay. Yes, essentially, Thindle. So with document databases, you don't need relations anymore because, you know, joins and stuff start to get quite expensive. And quite frankly, from a developer perspective, they're hella confusing. So you don't need relations anymore. So yeah, things that previously you might have had to access with joins, you can have in one document essentially. And the way you model your data for a document obviously is going to be different because it works differently. But yes, a lot of the time you'll find that what previously would have ended up being a separate table can be embedded in the same document. So I give a talk, for example, where I talk about exercises and goals and going to the gym. And so previously you might have had a table which was a client's table, an exercises table, and a goals table. Inside the exercises, you know, you'd have to associate an exercise with a client, whereas now it's like you just have a client document and in it you can embed, you know, the exercises that they do and the goals that they've set. I hope that makes sense.
Right. So this logic probably won't work now. We're just going to have pick that out.
Yeah, like document databases are powerful and easy to use, but it's definitely a mindset shift from relational world. So sometimes it can take a while to work it out.
That's all right. So now let's, I think I fixed it. So we're going to go here and go menu item.
There's always a VOD, Thindle, because this is on YouTube. As soon as we go offline, it will just be there for everyone.
All right, so we are going to have a seed. This is going to be menu items dot insert many async, and we're going to give it a whole load of menu items. So let's go. We have a list of menu. No, not a list, collection names, options, Visual Studio. So we're going to have that. Is going to be menu items is equal to, well, let's just call that foods, is equal to new. All right, and we're going to pass in foods. Awesome, and we need to await you. Alrighty, so now we are going to seed all of our stuff. So we're going to come back over to wherever I seeded that, which was where was it, Layla? Where did you seed it? Was it in here? Was it?
I think it was on a razor page, maybe.
It was here. It was here. Okay. No, it was. Yes, here it is. Here it is. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm just going to do is be super lazy and go copy. And we may
lazy or efficient?
Efficient. Okay, so now I'm just going to drop these down here for easier copying and pasting. So we need a description. We need an image path. Can we store images like it is?
So we can't store images. No. What we'd normally do for images is say store them in something like an S3 bucket. And then you can just, historically, you would have Historically, you would have then just added the URL reference to where it is in the S3 bucket. But thankfully, thanks to the wonders of, well, theory, you can do federated queries. You could add S3 as a data source and then go and get that. But in this instance, it's probably easier to just store the URL to the image.
All right. Well, that we'll have those stored locally. So I'm actually going to come and do this here. So we want name. We're going to have a description. We're going to have an image path.
So the one I'm interested to see if we we should be able, we've got time to get this running, is whether we need ID or not.
Yeah, not for this one.
MongoDB will automatically generate you an object ID at creation. So I don't know whether you need to specify it in the model or not. We'll find out. It's part of learning. Like you don't need to specify one when you create the item. It's just whether or not the model needed one, but we'll find out.
Alrighty, so and alrighty. Okay, so all right, that's that bit done. I'm gonna come up here. This is my super duper efficientness. Boom.
Smart.
And it's okay, we will be all right in a moment. We're coming down here. And finally, I don't know what we're missing there. Right, now we just need to have the enum, which is going to, let me just grab all of these. Whoosh. Shift and why did you not? All right, let's grab it from down here. Whoosh up. Any questions so far, Luce? Are you okay?
No, I'm good. I understood what you were trying to do, so I was just watching until you produced the magic.
So we're going to have a item type is equal to item type base. So I'm just going to paste that into the next few. Oops, that wasn't item. Oh, ew, too big. Okay, there's all of that. So I'm now going to paste that in there, and this one's going to be a topping. So let's go and paste that down here.
Who doesn't want spiders on their pizza?
I know, me, because then they'd be dead, and I can't cope with dead spiders. My necroarachnophobia is fine. Oh, whoopsies. Now, these ones are source, slime, maple syrup.
Oh, maple syrup. Who doesn't want dead spider legs and some maple syrup?
There we go. All right. We are... That's that done. Okay, so now we can add all of those in one go.
Yep.
Why? Okay, done. So that's our seed.
Yep.
So I'm probably going to want to call my seed if collection's not created. Can I do that?
You don't need to. Well, yeah. So, yeah, I suppose you. I don't know if you can get the. I suppose the menu items. I don't know if there's like is created or not, because it doesn't matter if it's created or not, because if it's empty, it will automatically create it for you. I guess you'd have to kind of you'd have to request, do like get, or get one, or it'd be find actually, not get. Wrong language. But yeah, you do like a find one, and if it because
so we can do any on it, looks like.
Yeah, it supports link, which is really powerful. Oh, dot exists. Okay. We've already got the collection, so we just do if menu, yeah, dot exists. What's that I'm happy about? What
was the date? 2018.
And the response was for 2014, so I'm not surprised. Hang on, let me.
Let's see what we've got on it.
There you go. This was forums discussion from 2022. Because the thing is that you don't. I think the issue is the fact that you don't. It doesn't matter if a collection doesn't exist, because if it doesn't exist when you go to add data for the first time, it will create it for you. So what you probably need to know is whether it's empty or not.
That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
So you would. So I would have thought you do like find, and then like based on the response, if the response is like nothing.
But what am I trying to find?
Nothing. You can just request everything. If you just do an empty find, it will return you everything.
Is that like null?
I'm not sure if it'll be null or empty, but oh yeah, you do like what did I do to get everything? To get everything, I did. I just did rather than null in the find, I just put it'd be like menu item, fat arrow, true. And that will just get you everything.
Dot count.
Dot find gives you back a collection. So I guess deprecated. What? Is there anything? Might not be in a way.
Right. So if that's equal to 0, we're going to call seed.
Okay.
All right. So that's done.
Oh, probably moaning because she. Oh yeah. Way ahead of.
Oh God. Hang on. Pull. Oh, there's.
Oh, we need to task.run nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we like task.run and then you run it inside, I think.
Call async in constructor.
I mean, traditionally, I would have just done task.run. And then inside of that task.run is where you can do it. It'd be like, I think it takes a function, so you'd have to do like, see if I can task dot. I have to remind myself. So it's
Fix
task. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so what I haven't been watching chat. What's everyone? All right, everyone. Okay, see you, Thindle. That was a while ago. Okay, so we've done that, Luce.
Yeah.
So now we've seeded it. Now let me go back and look at what else you had.
I just had different functions for what you wanted to do. So get, find. It's just CRUD, create, read, update, delete. So so this, you could use this to populate, create a list of all the menu items. Yeah.
So I'm going to get all, and it's going to be a list of menu item.
We don't need anything. Don't need an yeah. Don't need any arguments.
It's going to be menu items.
And it's going to be like we did earlier. So it's just it'll just be menu item to true.
And that's going to be
just true.
True, yes.
We want everything. And then we don't need first or default.
Because, yeah. Alrighty.
Oh, it's because you got the fat arrow. It's getting confused. Oh, no, it shouldn't be there. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting suggestion, but okay. But that's just Visual Studio being helpful. I trust their suggestions. Oh, and then you might want to do to list. Oh yeah, you do as list. I did to list, but it works.
Okay. So I mean, yeah, we could do to list. That'd be that. And we don't need that cast, so that's fine. But so that would be to be better to if we wanted to do as enumerable of, we could do this and have that as menu item. You could actually do to enumerable like that, I believe, as well. Can I do that? Yeah. So that means that it hasn't actually listified it. We could still do some link on it, I think.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's cool.
So, I mean, we'll see how that goes. We'll see. I don't know how that works for this.
Well, all right, so we're at a point now where
we could run it.
We've got code that run it. Yeah, I was going to say, I think we should run it because obviously, annoyingly, I've got a meeting in 10 minutes. I can't help it, but
it's okay.
I'd rather sit and do this with you all evening because this is great fun.
So what I'm going to do is set that application to run. And
I've not actually used Azure Functions in Anger personally. So this is the first time. I'm gonna pretend this is a co-effort, and so this is the first time I've written Azure Functions.
So what I'm going to do is just go, just so we can grab it, just to see if it works. Context dot get all, and let's have var like food. What's that? All right, so I'm just going to put a breakpoint there, and we'll see if we get it all back. All right, shall I press the big old run button then?
Press it. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's got some errors.
Have I? Oh, 3 errors.
Namespace. Oh, because you're not using it anymore yet. Oh, it's just old references and waffle core, yeah.
So that wasn't anything to do with this project. That's fine.
No.
All right, so let's hit that. And let me just go back into here. And
the other fun thing as well is that if this worked, if you go, we can also browse the collection inside of the Atlas UI, and you should be able to see your items.
Cool. So let me go and hit this. All right, so we've hit the seed. So what I need to do is stop this. We did that get all dot to list. What I'm going to do is change that. Just let's make it easy. We can always change it later.
Yep.
Let's go and change that back to a list and to list. Okay, so let's just do that. All right. So we probably already have it, so we shouldn't hit the seed, but let's go and try.
Let's have a look. Maybe we can try local.
Oh, it failed. M11 ID.
Oh, okay. We do. I said about this, didn't I? Do we need it or not? So all we need to do is in the model is add a property called ID that we don't need to reference at any point in the model. Like you don't need to actually use it anywhere else. We just need it as a value here. And then we need to give it it's a string, not an ID. It's not an int, it says string. Then we want to put an attribute, I guess is the right term, above the ID that is in brackets bson ID. So B, capital B, SON ID. And then, it'll want the, we'll be missing, there you go, yep. And then underneath that, we want one more attribute. No, not underneath.
Oh, I see, right, okay.
Yeah. Adding two things to it, which is bson representation. And then it's going to be in brackets bson type.
String?
No, object ID. Because that's object ID is a special GUID looking object type, data type that we use in our documents. And you don't need to use it anywhere else. It will automatically generate it for you.
Okay, so that's fine.
Should be able to just restart. But there you go, that answers my question. Do you have to put it in there? And the answer is yes.
It's not properly started. Let me just try that again.
I do love the fact that when you generate the functions, it tells you the URLs of the access points you've got in the function.
Yay, look, we've got 16 items. There they all are. Whoop, whoop.
And if you go back to the browser tab that you were just in, the other tab had Atlas, didn't it? Open. It was the same window. You just opened a new tab in the same window. Yeah. If you close this box and you just clicked Browse Collections right there along the top, in line with Waffle Core Cluster. If you've got Waffle Core Cluster Connect for you monitoring Browse Collections. There you go. Yeah, if you can browse your items, you can manipulate it, you can query it, you can do whatever you want. Boop, and look at that. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that 90% of what we just did was C# code, nothing to do with MongoDB?
Yeah, there we go. All seeded. Hope everybody enjoyed that. Whoop, whoop.
Beautiful. I mean, there's so many things that we can do with it, but I'm just really happy that we've got your code
up there
because yeah, exactly. And because it supports link and it's just basic, find one, find many, insert one, insert many. You can query it later on by, passing it in the ID of the menu item that you want or whatever it is. There's lots of things that you can do with it.
Luce, I've lost your tab. Luce Carter, is it?
Oh, it's the code for this isn't on my GitHub. It's on the company GitHub. MongoDB hyphen developer. I think that's right. Yeah, there you go.
Awesome. So I'm going to drop a link to that here. Yay! Whoop, whoop,
whoop, whoop. I'm very proud of us.
Yay! We did some stuff and it worked. Yay!
We did. But no, absolutely. If you're up for it, I'd love to do a part 2 where we can carry on with this and we can do all the other functions and all the other things you might want to do.
Alrighty. Well, we shall talk and figure out when we can do that. Yay!
We will. Is there anything you want to share with the people as we wind up? Anything you're doing soon that you want to tell everyone about?
No.
Plug Women of .NET, anything like that?
Yeah, always plugging Women of .NET. Women of .NET. Come hang out. And if you want to redesign our website, come do that. We're looking for someone to help us with our web design.
Beautiful. And maybe we can move and joke. I'm not being serious, but maybe we can move to put in MongoDB and Women of .NET too.
We can certainly consider it. I don't know what we'd have. It's all a static site, so we'll have to see.
Okay, fair. But if we ever decide to use a database,
we can totally do Mongo for sure.
I mean, you've literally just done it. This demo shared. So when you set up your account in Atlas, what it would have done is it would have created you an organization, and then you've got a project. In your organization, you can have as many projects as you want, but each project can have a shared cluster. So you can just create projects for your projects and never pay for a database.
Awesome. Like the sound of that, Luce. Thank you so much for
thanks for coming. It's been great. So just to answer Rishi quickly before we go. So you've just managed to catch us at the end because unfortunately I've got somewhere to be for a rehearsal meeting, but we've just managed to take Layla's amazing Blazor waffle demo application, and it's now using MongoDB to store all its items.
Yay!
Woo!
Awesome.
All free. That's the best part. It's not like we're using up credits that we get. It's all just free.
No, that's good. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, Luce. It's been great.
My pleasure. And I'm just going to quickly, we're just going to do one more plug. Layla's amazing. Give Layla a follow on Twitter. She deserves it. And watch this space, and we will do a follow up. We will carry on working on this because I had a really great time.
It was really enjoyable. Thank you. And
I
like learning stuff. So yay.
Me too. Right. Well, have a lovely evening, day, morning, night, whatever it is, everyone. And we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.